Life. From the beginning. A cell. Mitosis. 2 cells. As time passes, we grow. Bacteria. We develop an insect, a fish, maybe a banana here or there, to rats, to chimps, to top hats, to beatboxers. The 21st century begins. Cars, buildings, construction, jobs, jobless, homes, homeless, plastics.
Fall in love with problems, because problems, we think that they suck, but actually, falling in love with problems allows you to create the most beautiful solutions. There's such an opportunity for us to transform and unfuck the world. But also falling in love with problems is different to focusing on problems. If you think about I don't know, if you're snowboarding or whatever, you're looking at that tree and it's I don't want to hit that tree. I think a lot of the time in this environmental space, in this just this space of being human and the complexity of all of the things that are happening, we're focusing on the problem, we're focusing on how bad it is, and it's okay, cool, I'm going to fall in love with this problem, I'm going to understand this problem, and then I'm going to create a really beautiful solution that's about solving the problem as opposed to just dwelling in the problem. The other thing I'd love to add is the energetic thing, coming from a place of fear. I used to come from a place of fear so much. It's just not useful. So my intention this year is to be unfuckwithable and to radiate love. And so radiating love in everything that I do, showing up, being really present, overflowing with love, but also being unfuckwithable and still having that kind of right amount of fierceness that we're here to unfuck the world, and you better get out of our fucking way if you don't want to unfuck it.
Strictly speaking, we live in a democratic society, but it's not very democratic. And a lot of the work that I'm doing, as well as a lot of people around the world, is essentially trying to democratize democracy, because we've come to know a kind of democracy, the kind that we grow up with, that isn't at all representative of what true democracy is. So yes, we live in democracies, and in fact, statistically around the world, more people are voting in democracies and are living in democracies than ever before. But yet our satisfaction with what democracy is doing has never been lower. So democracy is a real crossroads, and there are some jurisdictions that are making efforts to, improve their democracies, and particularly those tools, like citizen juries and direct democracy. You see much higher level of satisfaction in those kind of democracies.
So veganism is associated with lower rates of obesity, lower rates of hypercholesterolemia, lower rates of heart attack, of stroke. It also is associated with lower rates of dementia, Alzheimer's disease, diabetes. We just don't see, these disease statuses, these end stages of diseases in vegans as much as, or in plant-based, whole food plant-based individuals as we do in those who consume a meat-based diet. Studies show that the more and more that we exclude animal products from our diet, the better our health outcomes become. So it's really quite clear-cut in the studies.
And what about iron?
Iron, you can find lots of non-heme plant-based sources of iron, so in spinach, in tofu, in soybeans. If you eat enough calories in your diet and from whole food plant-based sources, most people will get enough iron from that. There are some studies that show that plant-based individuals do have lower rates of iron, but that does not necessarily correlate with lower rates of or higher rates of anemia. So they might have lower iron stores, but it doesn't actually translate to anemia. So you can have slightly lower iron status, but not have anemia. And an iron supplement is also, a pretty harmless thing to take. So if that was, something that you were concerned about, and a blood test actually proved that you had an iron deficiency, and your GP said you need a supplement, taking a simple iron supplement is not the end of the world either.